Good afternoon, everyone. How are you? आप सबने होमवर्क कर लिया? Have you completed the homework? Everybody else? Reply fast. Hope you are able to solve all everything else. Any problem in homework? Any problem? I guess that was easy. Correct? Okay. So in the last class, we have studied retirement benefits, in which we covered gratuity, leave encashment, and pension. Okay. Now, two retirement benefits is still pending, which we are required to cover by today itself. Okay. The first one is section 1010B, that is retrenchment scheme. Now, what is retrenchment? What is the meaning of retrenchment? Retrenchment means termination of employee. If any company terminate an employee, it simply means retrenching the employee, retrenchment of employee. And for that company or that firm will provide a compensation, which is known as retrenchment compensation under section 1010B. Okay. Retrenchment compensation is exempted. Number one, first understand, in this we will not apply those things that recurring in nature, non-recurring nature, government and non-government employees. We will not apply those rules here in retrenchment. Retrenchment is simply exempted actual amount received rupees 5 lakh or 15 working days salaries. Yani ki again 15 divided by 26. We know there are 26 working days. If we do not include Sundays, then there are 26 working days. So we will count 15 working days salaries. Yani ki 15 divided by 26 multiply by average monthly salary, multiply by completed year of service, whichever is lower. That will be our exemption limit in the case of retrenchment. One more thing here, while computing the completed year of service, more than 6 months will be regarded as or will be calculated as 1 year. More than 6 months or part thereof will be counted as 1 year. Okay, very simple. Actual amount received rupees 5 lakh notified by the central government on this behalf. 15 divided by 26 multiply by average monthly salary multiply by completed year of service, whichever is less will be our exemption limit. Average last 3 months just preceding the date of retirement. Now, if retrenchment scheme is approved by central government, whether you are a non-government employee or whether you are a government employee, if this scheme is approved by central government, then whole amount of retrenchment compensation is exempted. If the scheme is approved by central government, whether you are a government employee or whether you are a non-government employee, doesn't matter. If the scheme is approved by central government, then whole amount of the retrenchment compensation will be exempted. Okay. However, regarding the average, if the salary is monthly, we will calculate average as last 3 months, right? If it is weekly, 4 calendar weeks, 4 weeks we will count. Or if it is daily, 12 full working days weeks we will count. So generally, in exam, they will ask this. Okay, it is very simple, nothing else in retrenchment. So if any company is terminating an employee, then they will provide a compensation regarding the termination of that employee, that is known as retrenchment compensation. And such compensation is wholly exempted if that scheme is approved by central government. whether a government employee or whether a non-government employee. If a scheme is approved by central government, then it is fully exempted. However, a scheme is not approved by central government, then the least of these will be exempted. Number one, maximum exemption is equal to the first point will always be actual amount received. Second point, amount notified by the government. In the case of leave encashment, in the case of gratuity, we saw a different amount. Here it is 5 lakh. And last point, 15 working days salary. That's why I use 15 divided by 26. I explained this in the last class, right? Multiply by average monthly salary, multiply by completed year of service, where more than 6 months equal to 1 year. Okay? And we will take average for the last 3 months. That's it. This is all about retrenchment. Now, for the purpose of calculation of salary in retrenchment, what we will include? This is very different. This is very different. For the purpose of calculation of salary, for the retrenchment, we will include wages for this purpose means all remuneration, which we can express in terms of money. And includes allowances, including DA. It means DA will always part of salary for the purpose of retrenchment calculation. Second, the value of house accommodation or supply of light, water. These are perquisites. We will study these perquisites in today's session itself. So these are perquisites, the taxable value of perquisites. Any leave travel concession, we will also study this today itself. Okay. And any commission payable on promotion of sales or both. So every type of commission we are including, every type of DA we are including, and we are also including the value of perquisites for the purpose of calculation of salary for the purpose of retrenchment. But it does not include bonus, contribution by employer to the PF fund, contribution by the employer to the PF fund, and gratuity. 3 points we will not include. 3 points we will not include. The point to be, remember, the salary for the purpose of calculation of retrenchment is little bit different. Okay, we will include all the taxable perquisites like house facility, supply of light, water, medical attendant, or any other amenity, other services, etc., or food facility, concessional food facility. We will also include leave travel concession. We will also include any type of commission, and DA will always become the part of salary for the purpose of retrenchment calculation. But we does not include bonus, employer contribution to the Provident fund scheme, and third one, any gratuity payable. Okay. Generally, what I mean, इन तीनों के सिवा सब कुछ include होगा. Except these three, everything will be included. Okay. This is all about retrenchment. Now we will move forward. VRS, Voluntary Retirement Scheme, Section 1010C. In retrenchment, there is a termination of employee. But in voluntary retirement scheme, a scheme is made in which employee has given an option that he can retire voluntarily before his actual date of retirement. He can retire voluntarily before his actual date of retirement. That is known as voluntary retirement scheme. And on that retirement, a lump sum money has been given to that employee, and we are calculating that how much amount from that lump sum amount will be exempted under section 1010C. Okay. So this is very important. Only the employees of the following undertakings are eligible for the exemption. If you are an employee of the following undertaking or enterprises, then only you are eligible for the VRS exemption, voluntary retirement exemption. Number one, public sector company. Any other company, authority established under central or state or provincial act, local authority, cooperative society, any university, IIT, IIM, state government, central government. Okay, so if you are an employee of the following these undertakings, then only you will able to get the exemption under VRS, that is voluntary retirement scheme. Number one thing. Okay, now very important thing, you are eligible for the exemption under VRS only when you have completed at least 40 years of age. At least 40 years of age, or you have completed 10 years of service. Either you have completed 10 years of service, or either you have completed 40 years of age. For example, if an employee have completed 9 years of service in an undertaking, but he is 41-year-old, then he is eligible. If an employee has completed 11 years of service, but he is only 35 years, then again he is eligible. So either you have completed 10 years of service, or you have completed 40 years of age. Then only you are eligible for the exemption under VRS. However, this condition is not applicable on public sector company. The 40 years or 10 years wala jo condition hai, that is not applicable on public sector company. Okay. Now regarding the exemption. The exemption is list of the following. Number one, actual amount received. Number two, amount notified, 5 lakh rupees. Number three, this is important. Number three, in point number three, there are 2 sub points, and we will take higher of these 2 points. Higher of these 2 points will become point number 3. If this point is 50,000, suppose, and this point is 60,000, then point number 3 will be 60,000. I'm giving an example. Okay. So first, actual amount received. Second, rupees 5 lakh. Third, higher of below. It means A or B, whichever is higher, will become the point number 3. Point number A says 3 months salary multiplied by completed year of service. 3 months salary. It means 3 months salary. You will take the monthly salary for 3 months multiplied by completed year of service, where fractions ignored. Fractions ignored. It means if there are any fractional month, whether it is more than 6 months or less than 6 months, we will ignore those fractions for the calculation of completed year of service. Okay. So 3 months salary multiplied by completed year of service, or salary at the time of retirement. It means for the purpose of calculation of VRS, we will use salary which is last drawn salary, the salary when you are retiring, right? We will not take any average. We will take salary at the time of retirement, multiply by balance month of service left. What does this mean? It is voluntary retirement, right? We are giving an option to the employee that you can retire voluntarily before the actual date of retirement. Okay. For example, the actual date of retirement of Mr. A is 2028, in the year 2028, but he retires in 2025 voluntarily. So he still have 3 years left, or we can say 36 months. So this balance month of service is 36 months in our example. Okay. So what we will do, actual amount received rupees 5 lakh, or third point will be higher of the following: 3 months salary multiplied by completed year of service, or salary at the time of retirement multiplied by balance month of service left. Whichever is higher, we will take this as a point number 3. And overall, whichever is less, from point number 1, point from number 2, and from point number 3, whichever is less will be our exemption. which is less will be our exemption. So point to be remembered, point number 3, point number 2, point number 1, we will take which is less. But point number 3 itself is higher of point number A or B. Okay. And for the purpose of calculation of VRS, salary is again basic plus DA plus commission is specified. As usual, basic plus commission is specified. Okay. Now, if you are getting exemption under VRS, that is voluntary retirement scheme, no other exemption will be allowed under the Income Tax Act. Okay. Regarding that, number one thing. Where exemption of voluntary retirement compulsion under tendency has been allowed in any assessment year, then no exemption thereunder shall be allowed to him in any other assessment year. It means VRS is once in a lifetime. If you are getting exemption of VRS in any assessment year, then in any further assessment year, you will not able to get any other exemption regarding VRS. Number 1 point. There is a section 89 which defines relief. We will study further in our session. So if you are getting VRS, then you will not eligible to get relief. Or we can say, if you are getting relief, then you are not eligible for any exemption. Okay. Again, exemption to tendency would be available to an LCC regime, irrespective of regime. Okay. This is all about retrenchment and VRS. From the examination point of view, leave encashment, gratuity, and pension are more important comparatively to retrenchment and VRS. Okay. So this is all about retirement benefits, and retirement benefit is over. Let's see in a numerical. Okay. Mr. Datta received voluntary retirement compulsion 7 lakh after 30 years, 4 months of service. 6 years of service left. So it is given in the question that how many balance year of service left? 6 years of service left. At the time of voluntary retirement, he was drawing salary of basic salary 20,000 and dearness allowance, which DA is 5,000 per month. Compute is taxable voluntary retirement compensation. Okay. Give me a second. Let's please try to solve this. Okay. So exemption is equal to number 1. Actual amount received, that is 7 lakh. Number 2, rupees 5 lakh, which is a limit notified. Number 3, A or B. A is what? 3 months salary multiplied by completed year of service. Completed year of service 30 years 4 months. Fractions ignore. It means 30 multiply by 3 months average salary. Tell me, or 3 months salary. 3 months salary or 3 months average salary? 3 months salary. Okay. So 3 months salary, and for salary we will include basic plus DA if, and whole DA is DA if. So 25,000 into 25,000 into 30. Correct? This one. Any problem in this? No. Why you are multiplying by 26? Rashmi? Simple hai. 3 into 25,000, 3 months salary. Multiply by 30 for each competitive service. And you have completed 30 years of service. And you will take 3 months salary for each year. Multiply by completed year of service. Point number B. What is point number B? Balance month of retirement. 6 years. So if we convert it into month, then 25,000 multiply by 72 months. Whatever you will get is 1,80,000. Which is higher? 20,50,000. Or which is lower above these? 5 lakh. The exemption is 5 lakh and taxable amount is 2 lakh. Simple. Is that clear? Is that clear? Everybody? Everybody? Okay. Shall I move forward then? So retirement benefits is over. Retirement benefits is over. Okay. Now, before moving forward, today I will describe or we will discuss deduction under head salary. Deduction under head salary. So, section 15 is charging section or basics. 16 is deduction under head salary, or 17 is meaning. Correct? Basic complete, allowances complete, retirement benefit complete. Now deductions and perks. So I am talking about deduction. So as I discussed in the very first class, in every head we have to calculate first gross taxable salary, and if we deduct or if we reduce the deduction under that head, then only we will get net taxable income in that particular head. So in every head we have to calculate first gross taxable income in that head, then we will reduce deduction under that head, then we will able to get net taxable income in that head. So under head salary, this is the performer. Salary fully taxable, bonus fully taxable, commission fully taxable. I described in, I think, second session. We will take only taxable allowance, not the exempt allowance. We will take the value of perquisites. We will discuss today itself. Okay. This will become our gross salary. Gross salary. And if we deduct deduction under 16, then only we will get net taxable income under the head salary. So what we will do? Salary, bonus, commission, fully taxable. Taxable allowances, value of perquisites, and taxable retirement benefits also. Okay. That will become our gross taxable salary under the head salary. Then we will reduce deduction under the head salary. Okay. Then we will get net taxable income under the head salary. So I am going to discuss this section. So there are 3 deductions available under the head salary. Section 16(1)(a), 16(2) and 16(3). Okay. Clear? सबसे पहले बात करते हैं deduction under the head, deduction under section 16(1)(a). This is nothing but flat 75,000 deduction or 50,000 as the case may be. If you are opting the default regime, then 75,000. If you are opting the old regime, then 50,000. So there is flat deduction, either 75,000 or either 50,000. If you are opting the default regime, that is new scheme, then 75,000. If you are opting for old regime, then 50,000. But point to be noted, if your salary is itself 40,000, don't do this. Negative income under that salary. It is not possible. under the head salary, negative income is not possible. So don't do this. So it 75,000, sorry, or 50,000 means gross salary or this standard limit, whichever is less. Standard limit, you understand now? Either 75,000 or 50,000. So if your salary is less than this standard limit, then maximum exemption will be, in this case, for in our example, 40,000. Deduction, sorry, not exemption. Deduction will be 40,000. So standard limit, that is standard deduction or gross salary, whichever is less will be your deduction under section 16(1). It is very simple. Okay. 16(3), professional tax. If you are paying any professional tax, whatever the actual payment you are making against the professional tax, that will be wholly deductible. For example, if you are paying 10,000, it means on payment basis. If the professional tax due is 5,000 and if you are paying 10,000, then 10,000 will be eligible for deduction. If professional tax due is 5,000, you are paying only 2,000, then only 2,000 is eligible for deduction. So on actual payment basis, professional tax deduction is actual payment basis. Whatever the actual payment you are making towards professional tax, it is wholly deductible. But point to be noted, this deduction is available only old scheme. It means if the SEC exercise the optional scheme or if he shift out of the default regime, then only this deduction is available. This is not available in new scheme. Simple, eh? Okay. रश्मि 75,000 ही पढ़ाया मैंने, but 70,000 is applicable from 25-26, but only under new regime, not in old regime. Okay. Last one, deduction 16(2), entertainment allowance. Again, entertainment allowance is, it is fully taxable or fully exempted? Which type of allowance it is? We have studied it now. We have studied taxable allowances, fully exempted allowances, right? Is it fully taxable, fully exempted? It is fully taxable. First of all, entertainment allowance is fully taxable. Okay. So you will include it in gross salary as fully taxable allowance. Then if the employee is government employee, if the employee is government employee, then list of following will be deduction. Number 1, rupees 5,000. Number 2, actual amount received. Number 3, 20% of basic salary. I use the word directly basic. It means nothing will be included except basic salary. Here it is. Rupees 5,000, 1/5. It means 20% of basic salary. Is my screen visible now? Okay. Yeah. So rupees 5,000, 20% of basic salary or actual amount received, whichever is less will be deduction. only in case of government employees. Again, this deduction is available only under old regime. Okay, only under old regime. So this is all about deduction under the head salary. Very simple. First, standard deduction, rupees 75,000 or 50,000 as the case may be. Whether you are opting, depends on whether you are opting optional regime or you are opting default regime. Second, professional tax. तो प्रोफेशनल टैक्स का पेमेंट आपने जितना भी किया है, what on actual payment basis, but only in the case of if you are opting old regime. Third, entertainment allowance. If the assessee is government employee, okay, then list of the following will be deduction: rupees 5,000, 20% of basic salary or actual amount received. Only in the case of government employee or only when you are opting the old regime. Now, Hardik is saying, sir, yes, Hardik, according to the government, the maximum limit that government charge against the professional tax is 2,500. That is correct. But if you are paying 2,500 for this year and 2,500 for the last year itself in this year, then 5,000 will be allowed as deduction on actual payment basis. Okay? Okay? Clear? Now, this is all about deduction, and deduction is also over. So we have covered till basic concepts, section 15, taxable allowances or retirement benefits and deduction. Now we are going to start perquisites, and it is a little bit lengthy one. Perquisites. Section 17(2). In simple words, whatever the benefit you are getting from the employer, generally in non-monetary terms, is your perquisites. For example, whatever the benefit you are getting from employer, generally non-monetary, that is perquisites, which is employer is not legally bound to give you. For example, you are working in a company, and that company, instead of providing you house rent allowance, we have studied house rent allowance, right? Instead of providing house rent allowance, they are providing directly a house in which you can stay without paying any rent to anybody else. Rent is directly paid by the employer. You are just getting a facility that is non-monetary again. So that is perquisites. Okay. So perquisites are generally non-monetary benefit, which is in addition to the amount that may be legally due by way of contract of service. Yani contract of service, whatever the contract of service is there between you and the employer, it is in addition to that. For example, the employer is providing you the motor car, like car facility. He is giving you car. The employer is providing you laptop, mobile. Employer is providing you food facility, free food, some coupons, credit card, etc. Which is not mentioned in the contract of service, but it is in addition to that contract of service, and generally in non-monetary terms. So that is whatever the benefit, additional benefit you are getting from your employer, by whatever reason, it will be termed as perquisites. So generally perquisite is in kind, but in some cases it may be in cash. For example, the employer gives a gift of rupees 7,000 at your marriage. It is a perquisite. That is in addition to your contract of service, right? But why you are getting those benefits? You are getting those benefits because there is employer-employee relationship. Because you are working for that employee. That's why that employer, you are working for that employer. That's why that employer is providing you some extra benefits. For example, you are working for XYZ company, and that company is providing you a loan without charging any interest rate. without charging any interest. So it is your benefit because you are saving a huge amount of interest. You are just getting a loan without interest. It is not mentioned in your contract of service. It is in addition to your contract of your service. भावना दैट 50,000 जो आपके स्टडी मटेरियल में है वो ओल्ड स्टडी मटेरियल है फिर फ्रॉम असेसमेंट ईयर 25-26 75,000 limit will be applicable for new regime and 50,000 is for older regime. Okay, so where were we? Yeah, perquisites. So perquisite is nothing but extra benefit you are getting for due to a relationship of employer employee, master or servant. That is perquisites. Okay, now I am giving you an example. Mr. X okay, working as lawyer and employee of XYZ lawyer associate. Mr. X is working in a law firm. Simple सी बात है. He is working in a law firm as an employee. He won a case for a client, and client is of that law firm. Mr. X is working in a law firm as an employee, right? He won a case for a client, and client किसका था? Law firm का. That's why that law firm provide him a special gift of 10,000 award. So this 10,000 is perquisites. Is that okay? Extra benefit? Correct? Is that okay? So this 10,000 is taxable in which head? Tell me. Yeah. You are saying salary head. And Apurv saying income from other sources. Yeah. Why there is a confusion? Yeah. Tell me. So, Abhishek, you have to decide whether it is whether there is an employee-employee relationship or not. You have to decide. As Mr. X is an employee of that law firm, client किसका था? Law firm का. Case जीता Mr. X ने. Mr. X won the case, and payment is made by that law firm to Mr. X. So there is an employee-employee relationship, and this is a perquisite, and this is taxable under the head salary. Okay, because there is an employer-employee relationship. Now, Mr. X practice as a lawyer. He won a case for Mr. A. And that's why Mr. A gives him a watch. This is taxable under which head? This is taxable under head PGBP. Profit and gains from business or profession. As this is the profession, he is not an employee of any other firm. This is the profession of Mr. X. And he won a case for his client. And that client gift him a watch. Why? Because he won the case. Then this is his profession. So it is his business or profession income. So it is taxable under that PGBP. So we have to check that if you are getting per whether there is a relationship of employer-employer or not. If there is a relationship of employer-employer, then it is taxable under that salary. Otherwise, either other sources or either PGBP, as the case may be. We have to check. Okay. Now, this is perquisites. Up now, while calculating perquisites, we will not calculate the exemption limit. We will not calculate exemption limit. We will directly, as perquisite is generally in non-monetary form, so we have to convert it into monetary form or monetary value. Then we will convert in such a way that it will be a taxable amount directly. It will be a taxable amount direct. So we will not calculate any exemption here. We will calculate the value of perquisites, which is directly taxable under the head salary. So we will directly calculate the taxable value. So there will be no question arises regarding the what is the exemption amount, what is not the taxable. Okay. Now, again, while understanding the perquisites is divided into three major categories. Perquisites taxable for all employees and perquisites taxable for specified employees. There are some perquisites which is taxable for all employees, while there are some perquisites which is taxable for some specific employees only. And there are some tax-free perquisites. So this way, this point we will cover while we study the respective perquisites. We will cover this point there itself. Okay, we have to cover this and this point. ये तो हम जब respective perquisite पढ़ेंगे ना, जब उसमें ही cover कर लेंगे. So there are perquisites which is taxable for all employees, but there are certain perquisites which is taxable for some particular employees only. And these are the perquisites which is taxable only for some specified employees. Number one, provision of sweeper, gardener, watchman, or personal attendant. It means if your employee is providing a facility of a sweeper, gardener, watchman, or a personal attendant, so it is taxable only for specified employees. Facility of use of gas, electricity, or water supply. If he is also providing a facility of gas, electricity, or water supply, then only taxable for specified employees. Motor car, it means car facility in simple word. Here we will use the word motor car, but car facility. Educational facility and free or concessional tickets. So these are the perquisites which is taxable only for specified employees. We will check the definition, what is the meaning of specified employees in a while. But now, point to be noted, if the obligation is of employee and met by the employer, then it is taxable for all employees. Even these perquisites will be taxable for all employees if obligation is of employee and met by employer. What does this mean? It means if the bill is in the name of the employee and that bill is only reimbursed by the employer, then it will be taxable for all employees, whether these perquisites or whether any other perquisites. So I will not teach this point again and again in respective perquisites. Remember always, if the obligation is of employee and met by the employer, means if the bill is in the name of the employee and that bill is only reimbursed by the employer, then whatever the perquisite it may be, it is taxable for every type of employee, every employees. Okay, fine. However, if the bill obligation is not of employee, then only these perquisites will be taxable only for specified employees. Only for specified employees. Now, what is the meaning of specified employees? An employee will be a specified employee if, yes, Pranav, if the bill is reimbursed by the employer, then taxable for all employees. If the bill is in the name of the employee. श्रुति, हिंदी में बताऊं? ओके, श्रुति सुनो, अगर ये 5 जो पॉइंट हैं, अगर ये वाले परक्विजिट्स हैं, ये ओनली कुछ क्लास ऑफ एम्प्लॉइज के लिए ही टैक्सेबल होंगे. उस क्लास को बोलते हैं स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉइज. उसको हम अभी समझेंगे थोड़ी देर में. बट ये परक्विजिट्स भी सभी एम्प्लॉइज के लिए टैक्सेबल हो जाएंगे अगर ऑब्लिगेशन यानी कि लाइबिलिटी, ऑब्लिगेशन टू मेक द पेमेंट, वो एम्प्लॉय की खुद की है और एम्प्लॉयर सिर्फ उसको पूरा कर रहा है. तो फिर सभी के केस में ये टैक्सेबल हो जाएगा. ठीक है श्रुति? ओके. नाउ what is the meaning of specified employee? Specified employee is either of the following. Number one, if a person is a director of a company. If a person is a director of a company, it doesn't matter whether he is full-time or a part-time director. Even he is a director for a single day in a previous year, he will be regarded as specified employee. So either he is a director of a company, or I am using the word or, या तो वो डायरेक्टर है और he is a substantial interest in that company. What is the meaning of substantial interest? If he has a 20% or more voting power in that company, 20% or more voting power in that company, then we will say substantial interest है. That person has some more interest in that company, some substantial interest, some major interest in that company, if that employee has 20% or more voting power in that company. Okay. But now we have to check whether the substantial interest is only legally or whether it is in actual. For example, Mr. X, a karta, of HUF and this HUF has 20% or more equity shares in ABC Limited. Equity share simply means voting power. Correct na? So Mr. X is a karta and that HUF has 20% or more equity share in ABC Limited. But as Mr. X is a karta, these shares is in the name of Mr. X. Understanding my question? my example. Mr. X is a Karta of HUF. HUF has 20% more equity share in ABC Limited. But as Mr. X is a Karta, so the shares are in the name of Karta. So what we will say is Karta a specified employee or not? Is Karta is a specified employee or not? Karta is a specified employee or not? I am repeating again. There is a HUF who is holding 20% or more voting rights in ABC Limited. And Mr. X is Karta of that HUF. So that equity shares are in the name of Mr. X. So Mr. X is a specified employee or not? As we define, a person will be a specified employee if he is beneficiary owner of 20% or more voting rights in a company. We will say Mr. X is not a specified employee. Mr. X is not a specified employee. He is not beneficiary owner. Here we are using the term beneficiary. Is Mr. X directly getting the benefit? In actual, Mr. X is the owner. HUF is the owner. Mr. X is holding those shares only on behalf of HUF. Only on behalf of HUF. Mr. X is holding shares only on behalf of HUF. Acha, assume that Mr. X is also employee of that ABC Limited. Then only the question of a specified employee will arise. If Mr. X is not an employee of ABC Limited, then the question of specified employees will not arise. Okay. Mr. X is holding share on behalf of HUF. He is not the beneficiary owner. So Mr. X is not a specified employee. Now understand? Understand? HUF cannot be HUF can be beneficiary owner, but HUF cannot be specified employee. HUF can be an employee of ABC Limited. It is HUF. It is itself a body. Okay. So Mr. X is not a specified employee. I am repeating my example again. There is an HUF. There is an HUF. There is HUF who is holding 20% or more voting power in ABC Limited. Mr. X is Karta of that HUF, and those shares are in the name of Mr. X, as he is Karta of HUF. And Mr. X is also employee of ABC Limited. So in that case, Mr. X will not be regarded as a specified employee. We will check the real benefit, not the legal benefit. Okay, because he is holding shares only on behalf of HUF. Correct? So a specified employee is an employee, either a director of a company, whether a full-time or part-time, whether he is director only for a single day, then it will be regarded as specified employees. Second, if you have a 20% or more voting power in a company, then you are a specified employee. Number third, if you are drawing salary in excess of 50,000 under the head salary. If you are drawing salary of 50,000 or more under the head salary. Under the head salary. Drawing, मतलब कि आप ले रहे हो. So if you are working for two employer on part-time basis, then salary for both the employer will be counted for the calculation of 50,000. Salary for both the employer will be counted. Salary from both the employer will be counted for the calculation of 50,000. So if an employee is drawing a salary in excess of 50,000, then he will be regarded as a specified employee. And again, here salary means basic salary plus DA plus commission, whatever commission it may be, plus bonus plus fees, plus any taxable payment, plus any taxable allowances, plus any other benefit minus deduction under 16. You have to mug up this. I can't help in this. यस, अगर मिस्टर एक्स यहाँ पे श्रुति पूछ रही है, श्रुति मैं हिंदी में बोल रहा हूं आपके लिए, श्रुति पूछ रही है सर उसको एम्प्लॉय भी होना पड़ेगा। बेटा अगर वो एम्प्लॉय नहीं है तो स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉय कैसे होगा? स्पेसिफाइड एम्प्लॉय तब होगा ना, और हम सैलरी हेड में बात ही तब करेंगे जब वो उस एबीसी लिमिटेड का एम्प्लॉय होगा। अगर वो एम्प्लॉय नहीं तो हम बात ही नहीं करेंगे ना उस बारे में फिर। अच्छा, दिस सैलरीज पर ईयर in a previous year, in a previous year, in a previous year. If he's drawing salary in excess of 50,000 in a previous year, specified employee, and for this purpose we will include all we will not include, sorry, we will exclude or deduct, we will not include non-monetary benefit. In simple words, we will not include perks, as we are calculating perks itself. That's why we will not include perks. Perks mean perquisites. We are making the calculation for perquisites. That's why we are not including perquisites. Any other monetary benefit which is exempted, yani ki we will include only taxable amount, taxable allowances. Only we will include the taxable part of the allowances. Then we will also deduct the standard deduction. Wait a minute. Yeah. So these will not be included. Everything will be included if it is taxable under that salary. Okay, we will not include perquisites, and we will deduct all the deductions if it is available to that assessee. So this you have to mark up. And after considering this salary, if that employee is drawing in excess of 50,000, then he will be regarded as specified employees. रिद्धि, जरूरी नहीं है हर एम्प्लॉय ना 50,000 से ज्यादा है ना एक ईयर में अर्न करता हो, तो यू कैन नॉट से लाइक दैट. यू हैव टू चेक, you have to check. It might be possible an employee is getting 10 lakhs of perquisites and only 40,000 of salary in a previous year. So his income will be 10 lakh 40,000, but he is not an specified employee. Okay, Riddhi? So you have to check according to the information given in question. So this is all about specified employees. So we will divide the perquisites into three parts: taxable for all employees, taxable for specified employees, and tax-free perquisites. Tax-free perquisites we will cover itself when we study the respective perquisites. Okay, so taxable for all employees and taxable for specified employees. But in taxable for specified employees, there are 5 perquisites. But point to be noted: if the obligation is of the employee made by the employer, then again those 5 will also be taxable for all employees. And what is the meaning of specified employees? If a person is a director of a company, director plus employee, okay, he should be an employee as well, director and employee. Second, if he is drawing a salary exceeding 50,000, and if he has a substantial interest, that is 20% or more voting powers in a company, then इनमें से कुछ भी, any one of the following, then he will be regarded as specified employee. Is that clear? Shall I move forward? Shall I move forward? Acha, you don't need to mug up everything else. Just give me an answer. Mr. X, an employer, providing Mr. Y house facilities. I'm giving just an example. So we have to calculate the value of this perquisite for Mr. Y. This is all we need to do. This is what all we need to do. So what will be the value in general sense? Say Mr. X expenditure on that house is 20,000 per month. So what value you will assume for Mr. Y? What is the benefit is Mr. Y is getting? 20,000 ka benefit. But of course, the benefit value is 20,000. Correct? So in general sense, for the understanding point of view, every perquisite have its own rules and regulations. But for the general point of view, for understanding point of view, the cost of the employer will be the benefit of the employee. The cost or the expenditure of the employer. The cost or the expenditure of the employer will be the benefit of the employee, and that benefit will be the value of perquisites. Correct? Is that okay? Correct? So generally, while we'll calculate the value of perquisites, this is a thumb rule. Correct? Fine. So we are starting the very first perquisite, that is house facility, house accommodation. House facility or house accommodation. It means the employer is providing you a facility of house. Either he is not charging any rent from you, or either he is charging a very, very, very insignificant rent. So there are 2 points covered. Completely free of cost. He is providing completely free of cost. Yani ki rent free accommodation. Or he is providing at a concessional rate. He is providing you the facility, but by charging a very insignificant amount. That is concessional rent. So, for example, if you are getting a facility of house and you are paying to your employer 10,000 per year, while the actual rent, if you try to find out similar house, is 10,000 per month. So you are getting a special benefit from your employer at a very discounted price. So that discounted is known as concessional rate. Okay? So very simple, while calculating the value of perquisite, the house may be furnished or unfurnished. That is correct. The furniture may be included, may not be included. Correct? So just give me an answer. If the value of perquisite is 20,000 per month, example, and the employer received 5,000 per month from employee, what is the net benefit employee is getting? What is the net benefit the employee is getting? 15,000. So what we did, we reduced the amount recovered from employee. Correct? We reduced the amount recovered from employee. That's not I am doing that. You are doing that. You are answering me that. Correct now? Because this is the net benefit the employee is getting, and that benefit is the perquisite, all right? So first of all, we'll calculate the value of अनफर्निश्ड हाउस, यानी कि रेंट फ्री अनफर्निश्ड हाउस, ठीक है। We will calculate the value of unfurnished house. Then we will reduce the amount recovered from employee. Then we will add the value of furniture. And we will reduce the, if any amount recovered from employee regarding the furniture. And that will be the net benefit. And that will be the taxable value of perks regarding house facility. Is that okay? दिस इज फॉर ऑल। अभी हम बात करेंगे रेंट फ्री एंड सबकी। रेंट फ्री का होता बेटा तो अमाउंट रिकवर्ड ही नहीं होती फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉय। रेंट फ्री मींस द एम्प्लॉयर इज नॉट चार्जिंग एनीथिंग एल्स, दैट्स व्हाई मैंने इसको हटा दिया यहां से। वैल्यूएशन ऑफ अनफर्निश्ड वी विल कैलकुलेट, वी विल एड द वैल्यू ऑफ फर्नीचर एंड फाइनली वी विल रिड्यूस द अमाउंट रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉय। I am not talking about furniture alone. I am talking about if you are getting a house with furniture, that is cupboard, almirahs, etc. Okay. So the broker will give an option whether you want furnished house, semi-furnished house, or unfurnished house. In unfurnished, you will not get any kind of furniture like almirah, cupboard, etc. Okay, Hardik. So we have to calculate first unfurnished, then we have to add the value of furniture, then we will reduce the amount recovered from employee. That will be the taxable value of Perquisites. Okay. If I'm talking about unfurnished house first. In case of unfurnished or in case the furniture is also included. Okay, there are two cases. If the employer is central government or state government, if the employer is central government or state government, the value of unfurnished house will be license fee, and that will be given in the question. Don't worry. The value will be license fee determined by the central government or state government in respect of accommodation in accordance with the rules framed. In simple words, license fee given in the question. If the employer is state government or central government, so if you are getting unfurnished house, then the value will be license fee. That's okay. Nothing is special in this. There is no rocket science in this. Correct now? Okay. Now, license fee, if he is also getting the furniture, then we will add this, the value of furniture. The value of perquisite determined is increased by. Now, it is possible that furniture is owned by the employer itself. The owner of the furniture is employer. Employer have purchased the furniture and then provide to you. Or it might also possible that employer has leased out the furniture. Employer has taken the furniture on rent and then provided you. It might also possible. So if the employer is the owner of the furniture, that means if he purchased the furniture and provided to you, then in the case of unfurnished house, you will add the value of furniture, and the value of furniture is calculated as 10% of the cost of furniture. Point to be noted, cost of furniture. WDV मत कर देना यहां पे. WDV मत कर देना. 10% of cost of furniture. Okay. So that is will be the furniture value. So if in question only license fee is given, that is unfurnished house. So value of unfurnished house will be license fee in the case of government employee. But if the furniture value is also given, then license fee plus 10% of the original cost. If the furniture is owned by the employer. Cost means purchase price or in question that will be given. Don't worry. Cost means what is cost? Anybody have any idea about the definition of cost? It may be cost of purchases. Generally, in this case, cost of purchases. Okay. However, if the furniture is hired or taken on rent by the employer itself, then the rent paid by employer to that third party, and if employer is recovering some amount from the employee, that will be reduced. Employer, that will be the value ना. फर्नीचर का वैल्यू क्या होगा? द रेंट पेड बाय द एम्प्लॉयर माइनस अमाउंट रिकवर्ड फ्रॉम एम्प्लॉय. Is that okay? Is that okay? Correct? This is all about when the employee is government employee. Okay. Now, if he is a non-government employee, then we have to determine two cases. Whether the house is owned by the employer or whether the house itself is taken on rent by the employer. Case number A, where the accommodation is owned by the employer. Case number 2, where the accommodation is taken on lease or rent by the employer. If it is taken on lease or rent by the employer, the value of perquisites will be 10% of salary or rent paid by the employer, whichever is less. 10% of salary or rent paid by the employer, whichever is less, minus amount recovered from employee. Minus amount recovered from employee. Minus amount recovered from employee. Is that okay? And furniture value will remain same. 10% of the cost of furniture in the case if the furniture is owned by the employer, or rent paid by the employer minus amount recovered from the employee if the furniture is taken on rent by the employer itself. So if the house is taken on rent, then list of the 2 points. Number 1, 10% of salary or amount paid by the employer as higher charges, whichever is less, will be the value of perquisites minus amount recovered from employee. भावना, that was old provision. हम उसकी बात नहीं करेंगे. पहले 15% था, क्या था, हमें कोई मतलब नहीं है. हम बात करेंगे हमारे एग्जाम में क्या एप्लीकेबल है. ओके, इज दैट ओके? करेक्ट. नाउ if the house is owned by the employer, then we have to check furniture value तो वही रहेगा. Furniture value remains same. The value of furniture remains same. The calculation for the value of furniture will remain same in all the cases, right? But if the house is owned by the employer, then we have to check the population of the city in which the facility is provided. As per census 2011, there are 3 rates given: 5%, 7.5% and 10%. किसका? सैलरी का. Either 5%, either 7.5% or either 10% of salary, as the case may be. When 5%, if the population is less than 15 lakhs. If the population is less than 15 lakhs. ऐसा? बोलो. करेक्ट है? करेक्ट है? If the population is greater than 40 lakhs, 10% of salary if the population is greater than 15 lakhs but less than or equal to 40 lakhs. If the population is greater than 40 lakhs, not up to 40 lakhs, greater than 40 lakhs, then 10% of salary. If it is greater than 15 lakhs and up to 40 lakhs, then 7.5% of salary. And if it is less than 15 lakhs, then it is 5% of salary. For which period? The period on which the accommodation was occupied by the employee. All these calculations will be only for the period for which the facility has been actually used by the employee. The house is occupied by the employee. Less amount recovered from employee. Furniture का value remains same. Is that clear? It's nothing. It's not a rocket science. It's very easy. If you are a government employee, then license fee plus furniture value. Furniture, other furnished. If there is a furnished house, then furniture value we will add, and furniture value will be 10% of original cost or rent paid by the employer, as the case may be, minus amount recorded from employee. Correct. Second point, if you are non-government employee, so whether the house is owned or taken on lease by the employer. If it is taken on the lease, then 10% of the salary or amount or rent paid by the employer, whichever is less, minus amount recorded from the employee. Furniture value remains same. However, it is owned by the employer, we have to check the population of that city as per the census of 2011. If the population is less than 15 lakhs, 5% of the salary. If it is greater than 15 lakhs but less than 40, so up to 40 lakhs, then 7.5% of salary. If it is greater than 40 lakhs, then 10% of salary. For the period, point to be noted, accommodation occupied by the employee minus amount recorded from employee. Is that clear? Is that clear? This is all. This is value of perquisite regarding the house facility or house accommodation. Okay. Now, Mr. X, employee, has been provided a facility of house accommodation in hotel. तब क्या करेंगे? If the facility has been provided in hotel by the employer to any employee, if the facility has been provided in hotel by the employer to any employee, then value of perquisite is equal to 24% of salary or rent or charges paid by employer, whichever is less. If the facility has been provided in hotel, then 24% of salary or rent paid by or charges paid by the employer, whichever is less, will be the value of perquisite. Now question arises, sir, what about the value of furniture? What is the value of furniture in this case? Correct. Hotels are furnished generally. So We will not include again the value of furniture in this case. We will not include the value of furniture in this case. This value is all inclusive of furniture. Hotel. Hotel also include guest house, motel, or dharmshala, etc. Okay. Right? Is that clear now? Okay. Now again a question. Mr. X, employee, living in Rajasthan, facility of hotel. Case is transferred to Mumbai. Mr. X is an employee, lived in Rajasthan, but due to transfer, he moved to Mumbai. And in Mumbai, the company provided hotel facility. So in general sense, 24% of salary or rent paid by the employer, whichever is less will be value of perquisites. But this is a special case of transfer. So for a aggregate period of 15 days in a year, no perks. If there is a case of transfer and the employee is providing a facility of hotel, and that facility is provided up to 15 days, then up to 15 days, the value of perks will be taken as nil. The value of perks will be taken as nil. However, where the employees provided such accommodation for a period not exceeding aggregate 15 days on his transfer from one place to another place, then there will be no perks value, or the perks value will be 0. Point to remember, aggregate 15 days in a year. If the employer has been transferred 2 times in a year and he has been provided facility of hotel for 8 days in the first instance and 9 days in the second instance, then we will count 15 days inclusive of both the instances. Are you getting my point? Mr. X, Rajasthan, Mumbai, transfer, hotel facility, 7 days. Okay. Again, in that year, Mumbai to West Bengal, for 9 days. Hotel. That limit of 15 days is kept for a year. Is kept for a year. So this will include this 7 days and 9 days as well. Okay, that's what I mean. Okay. Now there is another case. There is an employee living in Delhi, transferred to Mumbai. living in Delhi, transfer to Mumbai. Just listen. Employee living in Delhi, transfer to Mumbai. In Mumbai, he has been provided a house facility, not in hotel, but providing a house facility. He already has been provided a house facility while he was living in Delhi. He already been provided a house facility while he was living in Delhi. But now he is transferred from Delhi to Mumbai. He has been provided a house facility in Mumbai as well. But he did not vacate this house. He retained this house as well and this house as well. He occupies both the houses in Delhi as well and in Mumbai as well. And the case is of transfer. So there are two facilities, two perks. So if this is the case, for the period of 90 days, we will consider the value of house which has a lower value as a perks value for a period of 90 days. The taxable value will be this house value or this house value, whichever is less. But after 90 days, value of both the houses will be taxable. After 90 days, value of both the houses will be taxable. Not one of them. Rashmi, not one of them. Both the houses will be taxable. They have provided enough time now. They have provided you enough time of 90 days that you can vacate that house and you can transfer all of your stuff from Delhi to Mumbai, right? So up to 90 days, they are providing you option that house value that is in Delhi or that is in Mumbai, which is less. But after 90 days, if you are still retaining both the houses, then both the house value will be taxable. One house will be exempt for 90 days, but whose value is higher, that will be exempt. You can say like that. Okay. If any house has been provided in a remote area or a mining site, then the value of such house will be taken as nil. If any house facility has been provided in a remote area that is far from the city or an mining site, then the value of that perquisite will be, such house facility will be nil. Is that clear? Rent-free official residence, rent-free official residence provided to a judge of High Court or Supreme Court if they exercise the option of shifting out of the default tax regime under section 115 BAC is also exempt. If they shift out of the default regime is also exempt. Last one, last case. If the accommodation is taken on lease by the employer and same accommodation has been provided to the employee for more than one previous year. Understand my point? After this point, I will give you a break. Don't worry. If the accommodation is taken on lease by the employer, if the accommodation is taken on lease by the employer and same accommodation continued to be provided to the employee for more than one previous year, then the perks value for the second previous year shall be calculated as follows, and it shall not be more than this value. Because what is this CII? What is the CII? Yes, inflation index, commodity inflation index. So suppose if you have been provided a facility of house by the employer, and that that house has been taken on lease by the employer for more than 1 year. You cannot calculate the taxable value of the perquisite which is more than the inflation index comparatively to the previous year. So that's why what formula we will use? Perks value of the first previous year divided by the index of that previous year multiply by index of the current previous year. What we are doing? We are converting the value of the last previous year by giving the effect of inflation. We are calculating the value of the current previous year on the basis of the value of the last previous year after adding the inflation effect. That's what we are doing. So if the value of the last previous year is 20,000, index is suppose कीजिए 115, and the current year inflation index is 120. So this should be the value of current previous year after taking into account the inflation, right? Correct. So we will use this value, and the perks value shall not be more than this. It should be kept to this value. Okay. If accommodation is taken on lease by the employer and the same accommodation is continued to be provided to the same employee for more than one previous year, then the perks value for the first previous year divided by the index of that previous year multiply by the index of the current previous year, the value of perks cannot be more than this value. And what do you mean by the first previous year? The first previous year starts from the 23-24. So if you are calculating for 24-25, the first previous year is 23-24. If you are calculating for 25-26, the first previous year will be 24-25. First previous year means the year just preceding to that previous year. But this provision came into effect in 23-24. That's why the first previous year is 23-24. First previous year means the previous year for which you are making the calculation, which starts from 23-24. Okay. If an employee is serving on deputation, where the accommodation is provided by the central government or any state government to employee who is serving on deputation, then we will make the calculation. We will make the calculation as per point number 2A. What is 2A? This is 2A. If the employee is on the deputation, so we will not deem it as a central government employee or state government employee. That's simple. That simply means deputation means on behalf of that. Abhi ke liye aap aisa samjhiye, on behalf of that person. So if he is on the deputation, so we will not deem it as a government employee. We will treat it as at point number 2A. We will make the calculation on this basis. Okay. Now last thing in this, meaning of salary. Here salary includes allowances, bonus, commission, monetary payments by whatever name code from one or more employers. Okay, from one or more employers, but does not include the following. Number one, dearness allowance or dearness pay unless it enters into the computation of superannuation letter. कुल मिलाकर only DAF we will include. We will include only DA if. Normal DA will not be included. We will not include normal DA. We will include DA if. We will not include employer's contribution to the Provident Fund. We will not include the exempted amount of the allowances. We will not include the value of perks. We will not include the lump sum payment received at the time of termination of service or voluntary retirement like gratuity, leave encashment. It means we will not include the retirement benefits. We will not include the exempted amounts. We will not include perquisites value. We will not include normal DA. We will not include contribution to the Provident Fund by the employer. Rashmi is asking, sir, what is DA if? Rashmi, were you there in last class? In last class, I told you DA if. I will use the word DA if in salary head. And I described the meaning of DA if there itself. I described two meanings, commission specified and DA if. While I taught you HRA. Yes, DA if means if the agreement provides so. If such DA is considered for the calculation of retirement benefits. If there is an agreement that such DA will becomes part of basic salary, then that will be known as DA if. I taught you in the last class. Okay. Commission specified means the commission on the basis of fixed percentage of turnover. Okay. So this is all about house facility. In simple words, house facility is nothing. If government employee, license fee. If non-government employee, house is owned or not owned. If it is taken on rent, 10% of salary or rent paid by the employer, which is less. If it is owned by the employer, 5%, 7.5%, 10%. Census 2011. Less than 15 lakhs, 15 to 40 lakhs or greater than 40 lakhs. Furniture value, 10% of the original cost. If furniture is taken on rent, then rent paid by the employer minus amount recorded from employees. And in that also, we will reduce the amount recorded from employees. If the facility is provided in a hotel, 24% of the salary or rent paid by the employer, which is less. However, if the facility is provided in a hotel, up to a period of 15 days, aggregate in a year, and the cases of a transfer, then the value of the perks will be nil for the period of 15 days. We will also consider the inflation effect. The value shall not be more than the inflation effect. Third point, remote area, if you are providing any facility, the value of perks will be nil. Judges of High Court and Supreme Court, the perks value will be nil regarding house accommodation if they opt for old regime. If you are returning both the houses and the cases of the transfer up to 90 days, lower value will be taxable. Above 90 days, both the value will be taxable. Okay. Salary, we will not include normal DA. We will include only DA if. We will not include employer's contribution to Provident Fund. We will not include exempted value of allowances. We will not include retirement benefit. We will not include perks value. Okay. Now take a break of a 2 minutes and try to solve this question. बोलो हार्दिक.
सर एक स्मॉल क्लैरिफिकेशन चाहिए. सर होटल्स में अप टू 15 डेज लिखा है, तो सर अगर एक भी दिन ज्यादा हुआ तो पूरा टैक्सेबल होगा या सिर्फ वही एक दिन टैक्सेबल होगा?
15 डेज के बाद वाला टैक्सेबल होगा.
15 डेज के बाद वाला टैक्सेबल. और इसका मतलब हमको सर 365 डेज से डिवाइड करके निकालना पड़ेगा?
नहीं, डिवाइड क्यों करना पड़ेगा?
क्योंकि सर एक दिन की सैलरी निकालेंगे ना फिर.
हाँ वो नहीं, वो मैं एक मिनट बताता हूँ आपको. ऐसा नहीं करना पड़ेगा. क्वेश्चन आएगा, मैं बताता हूँ आपको. क्लेरिफिकेशन देता हूँ उसका मैं. थोड़ी
ठीक है
देर।
सर। एंड सर एक और छोटा रिक्वेस्ट था सर, वो जो CII वाला था ना, उसका एक क्वेश्चन करवा दोगे सर? उसका बुक में नहीं है।
हाँ, उसका बुक में क्वेश्चन नहीं, मैं उसका क्वेश्चन है ना नेक्स्ट क्लास में कराऊंगा। मैंने भी इसका क्वेश्चन बना रहा हूँ उसका, मैं कराता हूँ नेक्स्ट क्लास में पक्का,
थैंक यू सर।
है ना। ब्रेक ले लीजिए 2 मिनट का, ठीक है, फिर है ना हमें एक पर्क्स और पढ़ना है, और जब तक आप इसको सोल्व कीजिए।
portal.
या प्लीज टेल मी।
So here the actual charges paid or payable to such portal for the
नहीं,
first 15 days.
वेट, योर वॉइस इज नॉट ऑडिबल, योर वॉइस इज नॉट ऑडिबल। कैन यू स्पीक अ लिटिल बिट?
Now, so now,
या प्लीज टेल मी।
so there the actual charges paid or payable to such portal in exceeding of 15 days. So my doubt is, for if a person is staying for 315 days, should we calculate the salary paid by the employer for 300 days or 315 days?
अगेन सेम डाउट जो अभी व्हाट हार्दिक आस्क्ड। So I will give a question regarding, I will solve a question regarding that. If an employee is if your question is that if an employee is getting facility in a hotel and the cases of the transfer and the facility is more than 15 days, correct?
Yes, sir.
Correct now?
Yes, sir.
Okay, we will solve a question on this. We will clarify this on in that question. Is that okay?
Yes, sir. Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah. So there is a question. Mr. C is a finance manager. in ABC Limited. The company has provided him with the rent-free, unfurnished accommodation in Mumbai. He gives you the following particulars: basic salary 8,500, dearness allowance 2,000 per month, 30% if, bonus 1,500 per month. Even though the company allotted the house to him on 1st April 2024, he occupied the same only from 1st November 2024. Calculate the taxable value of Perquisites. First of all, facilities has been provided in Mumbai, but of course, more than 40 lakhs population. Common sense. It is Mumbai, more than 40 lakhs, rate will be 10%. First thing. Sorry. Second thing, he occupies the house from 1st November. So, as I told you, we will check when he occupies the house. And we will consider the salary for that period only. So, we will consider salary for November, December, January, February and March. यानी कि 5 months salary. Correct? Is it mentioned here that the house has been taken on rent? It is not mentioned, right? If it was taken on rent, then the payment of rent or the payment made by the employer should be given. So we are assuming that it is owned by the employer. So 10% of salary for 5 months, and salary will be 8,500 plus 30% of this 2,000. 600 plus 1,500. For the relevant period, we also use the same word while we are calculating the HRA. Relevant period, the period for which he actually occupies the house. 10% of 8,500 into 5 plus 2,000 into 30%, because DA into 5 into 1,500 into 5. The Perks value will be 5,300. Is there any problem in this question? Pranav, it will not always 10% of the salary. Sorry, I am suffering from fever today. Sorry for that. If it is given in the question that the population of that particular city is so, though we have to make the calculation according to that population. Okay. Manvi, the house is owned by the employer and he is living in Mumbai. So generally, we all know that the population of Mumbai is too high. So, but of course, it is more than 40 lakhs. Correct? So we are considering 10% of salary. First thing. But we will consider the salary for the relevant period only. And the relevant period is what? For which the assessee or the employee occupies the house. That is, he occupies the house from November. And the financial previous year ends on March. So we will consider the salary or the value of perquisites for 5 months only. And the salary includes basic, DAF, and here bonus also. Because it is mentioned that these will not be included. Except these, everything will be included. It is also mentioned, it includes allowance, that is taxable allowance, bonus or commission. Commission, whatever the commission it may be, whether on fixed percentage, whether on monthly basis, all commission will be included. all bonus will be included. All taxable allowance will be included. Okay. So 8,500 plus 600, 30% of this 2,000, because this is only the DA for the retirement benefits, plus 1,500 bonus, multiply by 5. The value of perks will be 5,300. Is there any amount recovered from the employee? No. Then this will be the final value of perquisites. Is that clear now, Manvi? Yeah. I have not mentioned house accommodation is taxable in case of specified. House accommodation is taxable for all employees. Only 5 perquisites are there, which is taxable only for specified employees. So please mug up those perquisites. Okay. Second question. Using the data in the previous question, compute the value of the perquisites if Mr. C is required to pay a rent of 1,000 per month to the employer or to the company. So ultimate benefit कितना हो? What is the ultimate benefit to the employee? The value of perquisite as per previous solution 5,300, and he is giving 1,000 per month rent. So rent for the 5 months will be 5,000. So he is giving 5,000. So this is the amount recovered from employee. So ultimate benefit the employee is getting is 300 only. Then the 300 will be the value of perquisites. Okay. This is all about house accommodation. Now, the last topic for the day, leave travel concession or leave travel assistance. Number 1, it is only for the old resident. First point, leave travel assistance or leave travel concession. It means if you are traveling to any place within India, point to be noted, available only when we are traveling within India, and available only when you are shifting out from default regime, right? So any facility of provided by your employer for the leave travel concession, then this amount is exempted. Exemption is equal to actual amount received or this limit, whichever is less. Whatever you are traveling, the exemption is regarding for traveling only, not for staying in hotel, etc. The exemption is regarding for traveling only. If you are traveling within India to any place, so in respect of that, any amount received from your employer and you are shifting out from the default regime, then the exemption is there, and the exemption is equal to actual amount received or this limit, whichever is less. So there may be circumstances that you may travel by railway, you may travel by air. If you are traveling by air, if the journey is performed by air, flight ले रहे हैं आप लोग, then the limit of exemption will be amount not exceeding the economy fare of the national carrier by the shortest route to the place of destination. Number 1, economic class, the ticket of the economic class, the fare of the ticket of the economic class. If you are traveling through air, the exemption limit is capped to the fare of or the value of the ticket of economy class by the national carrier for the shortest route to the destination. For example, if you are traveling from Delhi to Mumbai, that is your destination is Mumbai, right? But what you are doing, you first travel to Jaipur, then to West Bengal, then to Mumbai, and you are including the fare of all this. This is not allowed. The shortest route to the destination, that is direct flight, we can say, or the shortest route, we will consider the ticket for the shortest route. You cannot go to Mumbai like this, and then Mumbai. ऑटो वाला घुमाता ना आपको बहुत सी बार इधर से उधर जाने के लिए, वैसे नहीं. द शॉर्टेस्ट रूट. So the amount not exceeding the first the economy ticket of national carrier by the shortest route to the place of destination will be the limit if you are traveling by air. Number 1 point. If you are traveling by any other mode, then maybe you are traveling through rail, and if the railway track is not there for that destination, if you are not traveling by air and you are traveling by any other mode, and if there is a railway track for that destination, then amount not exceeding the air condition first class, point to be noted, first class rail fare for the shortest route. In case of air, economy class. In case of railways, first class, but shortest route. If you are traveling through air, that is through flight, then economy class ticket of the national carrier for the shortest route to the place of destination. And if you are traveling through any other mode, and the mode is such that where the railway track is there, then the rail service is available, then first class ticket for the shortest route to the place of destination. That will be the limit. Where this railway service is not available to that place, to the place of destination, but public transport system exists, recognized public transport system exists, then amount not exceeding first class or the deluxe class. Maybe first class, in some buses there is only first class, but in some buses there is deluxe class as well. So first class or deluxe class fare, as the case may be, on such transport for the shortest route. Number 1, if you are traveling through air, economy class, shortest route, national carrier. If you are traveling through any other mode of transport and railway track is there, then first class ticket for the shortest route. But if the railway track is not there, but recognized public transport system is there, then deluxe class or first class ticket for the shortest route as per that transport system. But railway track is not there and recognized public transport system is also not there. Railway track is not there and recognized public transport system is also not there. Then amount equivalent to the air conditioned first class rail fare for the distance of the journey by the shortest route, if the journey had been performed by rail, simply means we will calculate or we will assume what may be the shortest route to the place of destination and what is the first class ticket fare for similar distance that is charged by the railways, and we will consider that value as exemption limit. Again, I am repeating, if the journey is performed by the air, economy class ticket, shortest route of national carrier. If you are not traveling through flights or air, but railway services is available, then the first class ticket of that railway services or that railway system for the shortest route. But if the railway service is also not available, then we will check that whether the recognized public transport system is there or not. If the recognized public transport system is there, we will use or consider the deluxe class or first class ticket for that charged by that recognized transport system as an exemption limit. But if railway service is also not available and recognized public transport system is also not available, then what we will do? Again, we will consider the first class ticket charged by the railway for the similar distance, considering the shortest route. For the similar distance, considering the shortest route, that will be the exemption limit. And exemption is equal to actual amount received or limit, whichever is less. Okay? Okay. Exemption किसके लिए होगा? If you are traveling within India, if you are shifting out of default tax regime. Exemption to any place in India, either you are traveling on a leave, after retirement or after termination of service. कोई सा भी केस हो सकता है, whatever the case may be. Who can travel? Either he himself, his children or spouse. Either he himself, his children or spouse, or brother, sister, parents, if they are dependent. Brother, parents, brother and sisters, or any one of them who are wholly or mainly dependent on that individual. So we will consider the exemption limit for parents or brothers or sisters only if they are dependent on the individual, otherwise not. However, in the case of the spouse or children, always consider. We will consider always. But in the case of parents, brother or sister, we will consider only if they are dependent on that individual. Okay? Exemption will be available in respect of 2 journey performed in a block of 4 calendar year. It means you are eligible for the exemption, but only for 2 years in a block of 4 years. It means there is a block of 4 years in which you are eligible to get an exemption for 2 years only. And that block starts from 1986. Calendar year means January 1986. However, if you did not avail the exemption of LTC, leave travel concession, during a block of 4 years for any of the previous year or any of the 1 year, any of the 2 year, it means where such travel concession or assistance not availed by the individual during any block of 4 calendar years, one such unavailed, so you have not taken any exemption during a block of 4 years, then you are eligible for 2 years. 2 years in a block of 4 years, but you did not avail any exemption for any of that year, any of those years, then 1 year can be carried forward to the next block of 4 years. It means in the next block, you are eligible for 3 years of exemption limit. Again, I am repeating. There is a block of 4 years. In that block of 4 years, you can avail the LTC only for a period of 2 years. Any of the 2 years out of 4 years. But if you did not avail the exemption in that block itself, then the exemption for any one of the period can be carried forward to the next block, and in the next block you will be eligible for the exemption of 3 years, including 2 for that respective year and 1 for the previous year. there is something missing. Where such travel concession or assistance is not availed by the individual during any year in a block of 4 calendar year, one such unavailed, only one such unavailed LTC will be carried forward to the immediately succeeding block of 4 calendar years and will be eligible for exemption. The exemption under section 10(5), that is leave travel concession, is for travel cost only and does not include the cost of stay and other cost. I already told you this, right? No exemption can be claimed without performing the journey or incurring the expenses. You cannot avail the exemption without actually performing the journey or without actually incurring the expenditure. ओके मैं एग्जांपल से समझाता हूं ब्लॉक वाले को, एक बार हिंदी में बताता हूं। तंबेश्वरी हिंदी में पूछ रही है। देखो तंबेश्वरी क्या होता है, हमें जो एलटीसी मिलता है वो हम एक क्या करते हैं, एक बंच बनाते हैं 4 ईयर का, एंड दैट बंच इज स्टार्टेड ऑलरेडी स्टार्टेड फ्रॉम 1986. इट मींस 1986, 87, 88 and 89. This is a bunch of 4 years. That is what we'll call it block of 4 years. In that block, you are eligible for LTC exemption only for a period of 2 years. Only 2 साल के लिए आपको उस 4 ईयर के ब्लॉक में, उस 4 ईयर के बंच में से ओनली 2 साल ही आप LTC की एग्जाम्शन ले सकते हो। बट अगर आपने उस 4 साल के ब्लॉक में, उस 4 साल के बंच में एक भी साल LTC का एग्जाम्शन नहीं लिया है, तो इस ईयर का जो 1 साल का एग्जाम्शन आप अगले ब्लॉक, जो नेक्स्ट ब्लॉक आएगा, उसमें ट्रांसफर हो जाएगा। और नेक्स्ट ब्लॉक में इमीडिएटली जो नेक्स्ट ब्लॉक है उसमें आपको 3 एग्जाम्शन मिल जाएगी। 2 तो उसी ब्लॉक की, क्योंकि हर एक ब्लॉक में 2 तो अवेलेबल ही होती है, और एक पिछले ब्लॉक की। ओके ओके, एग्जाम्पल से ओके। This is block of 4 years. Is that okay? Is that okay? Right? You are eligible to claim exemption of LTC in any 2 of these years. Either you can claim for 1986, either you can claim for 87, 88, either you can claim for 1986, 89, either you can claim for 87, 88 or 88, 89. However you want, you can claim maximum 2 years exemption regarding LTC in this period. But what if you did not claim exemption for any one of the year? You did not claim in 1986, you did not claim in 87, you did not claim in 88, or you did not claim in 89. Because this block system starts from 1986. That's why I'm taking example of 1986. Now it's your homework. You have to count what is the current block. If the block starts from the 1986 and the block is in a bunch of 4 years, it's your homework. You have to determine what is the current block. Okay. So if you are not claiming exemption in any of the year, so exemption for regarding 1 year will carry forward to the block of 90, 91, 92, 93. This will be the next block. This will be the next block. So this exemption can be carried forward to that block. So in this block, if you did not claim exemption for any year during these 4 years, then you in this block you can claim 2 years exemption as per the normal provisions, also 1 year exemption regarding to the previous block. So total 3 years exemption you can claim in that block. Okay. Provided you have not taken the exemption in 86, in 87, in 88, in 89. It means you have not taken exemption in any of the year. Now clear? If not taken in the next year as well, the previous year exemption will be exhausted. And this year, in this example, again, you have not taken the exemption in any of this year. So this 1 year will lapse. Will lapse. Lapse means forever lapse. And 1 year exemption from this block can be carried forward. Can be carried forward. But this previous 1 year will be lapse. Okay. The exemption referred to shall not be available to more than 2 surviving children. 2 points. Maximum exemption is for 2 children only. But 2 surviving children. Number 1 point. But this condition applicable only if the children born after 1st October 1998. Okay. So exemption is available maximum for 2 children, provided such children born on or after 1st October 1988. Sorry, 1998. 1998. Only for 2 surviving children. Surviving children. Surviving children means simply जो जिंदा है, who is still living, who is still in existence. Right? Second thing, what if Mr. X has 1 children, born on or after, born in 2000. Okay. Now in year 2002, twins. Twins. अगर 2002 में twins हो गए तो, then in that case the exemption is available for all 3 children. No. अगर पहले एक चिल्ड्रन है उसके बाद ट्विंस होते हैं, if there is 1 children before the birth of the twins, then it is available for all 3 children, because it is not in the hand of Mr. X. Correct? Correct? So then it is available for all 3 children. But if Mr. X has already twins born in 2002, then 2004 1 children again, then it will be not available for this children because he already have twins. Right? If he have a children before the birth of the twins, then it is available for all 3 children. But if he already have twins, then he gave birth to a children again, then it will not be available to the new children, or it will be available maximum to 2 children. Okay? Is that clear? Solve question number 1, please, fast. If triplicate hoga, then it is allowed for all 3 children. If he gave birth to 1 children, then उसको triplicate children होते हैं या फिर तो सभी के allowed होगा, because it is not in hands of Mr. X or it is not in the hands of individual. You cannot control the nature. Okay. Please solve question number 1. Mr. D went on a holiday on 25 December 2024 to Delhi. It means within India, with his wife and 3 children. So wife is allowed, but we have to check about these 3 children. Okay. 1 son, age 5 years, and twins 3 years. It means son is 5-year-old and twins are 3 years old. It means he already have a son, then he gave birth to the twins. Then it is allowed for all 3 children. They went by a flight economy class and the total cost of tickets reimbursed by his employer was 60,000. 45,000 for adults, it is allowed, and 50,000 for all 3 minor children. It is also allowed. As this is the case of the twins, and twins are born after the birth of the first children. Then exemption will be 60,000. Correct? Since the son says more than the twin daughters, Mr. D can avail the exemption for all his 3 children. The restriction of 2 children is not applicable to multiple birth. Multiple birth means whether it is the case of twins or triplicate or whatever the case may be. Multiple birth after 1 child. The holiday being in India and the journey being performed by her, then we will consider economic class. The entire reimbursement made by the employer is fully exempt. Okay. In the above question, will there be any difference if among his 3 children, the twins were 5-year-old and son is 3-year-old? Yes, it will make a difference. He already have twins and he gave birth to a child again. Then it is available only for 2 children. So 45,000 for himself and his spouse is allowed. But 15,000 for children, we have to divide and we will provide exemption only for the 2 children. So 15,000 divided by 3 into 2. We will provide the exemption of 10,000 only. That is 45,000 plus 10,000. It means 55,000 exemption. Correct? And the taxable amount will be 5,000. Correct? Is there any problem in this question? This is so easy question. So we have studied today VRS, retrenchment, retirement benefit over. We started perquisites as well, and we have seen house facility, that is house accommodation, and second, leave travel assistance. House accommodation available in both the scheme, that is both the regime, but leave travel assistance available only in old regime. Correct? There is a small topic we can cover it in 10 minutes. So I think we can cover it. Okay. Provident fund. It also comes under retirement benefit generally. Provident fund. First of all, there are four types of provident fund: recognized, unrecognized, statutory, and public provident fund. Recognized means if the provident fund, there is a fund in which employer makes a contribution, employee makes a contribution. Why? For welfare of employee. Generally, this is the provident fund. Provident fund. A fund सिंपल सा एक गुल्लक है, उसमें एम्प्लॉयर भी पैसा डाल रहा है और एम्प्लॉय भी पैसा डाल रहा है. क्यों? क्योंकि फ्यूचर में जो वो पैसा है वो एम्प्लॉय के वेलफेयर के लिए काम में आ सके. A fund in which both employer and employee is contributing some amount. So in future, that amount can be utilized for the welfare of employee. That is known as provident fund. Provident fund scheme is a scheme intended to give substantial benefit, that is welfare, to an employee at the time of his retirement. If employee retires, then after he also requires some money to give him some benefit, this fund has been created. So generally in this fund, there are three types of the balances. First, employee himself deposits some amount. Employer also deposits some amount. Then if you are depositing some amount in that fund, then you will able to earn interest on that amount. So interest earned on employee's contribution and interest earned on employer's contribution. There are four amounts. There are four types of amount that are there in the credit balance in the provident fund. First, employer's contribution. Second, employee's contribution. Third, interest on both the contribution. So interest on employer's contribution and interest on employee's contribution. Right? The accumulated balance is paid to the employee at the time of his retirement or resignation. In the case of the death of the employee, the same is paid to his legal heirs. It means to his family. Okay? Now there are four types of the provident fund: recognized, unrecognized, statutory, or public provident fund. Recognized means if a provident fund is approved or recognized by the Commissioner of Income Tax, it is recognized provident fund. If the provident fund is recognized or approved by the Commissioner of Income Tax, then it is known as recognized provident fund. And if it is not recognized by the CIT, then it is known as unrecognized provident fund. While Statutory Provident Fund, SPF, it is governed by the Provident Fund Act 1925. It is governed by the Provident Act 1925. While Public Provident Fund is governed by Provident Fund Act 1968. Don't worry, in most of the questions, the question itself gives you the information whether it is a provident fund, public provident fund, or statutory provident fund, or recognized or unrecognized. But for the information point of view, please remember, if it is recognized by the Commissioner of Income Tax, recognized provident fund. If it is not recognized, then it is unrecognized provident fund. But if it is governed by the Provident Fund Act 1925, it is statutory provident fund. And if it is governed by the Provident Fund Act 1968, it is public provident fund. Statutory provident fund applies to the employees of government, railways, semi-government institution, local bodies, universities, and all recognized educational institutions. कुल मिलाकर गवर्नमेंट है अगर एम्प्लॉइज तो स्टैट्यूटरी प्रोविडेंट फंड लगेगा, यूनिवर्सिटी है तो लगेगा, रेलवेज एम्प्लॉइज है या सेमी गवर्नमेंट एम्प्लॉइज है तो लगेगा. ठीक है. नाउ द टैक्स ट्रीटमेंट ऑफ द प्रोविडेंट फंड. एज वी हैव सीन, देयर विल बी 4 items at the credit of this fund at the time of the retirement. The first one is the amount that is deposited by the employee during the year of the service, every year or monthly. Amount deposited by the employer and interest earned on both the amounts. So what will be the tax treatment of these amount? Number one, employer contribution. If it is a recognized provident fund, then up to 12% of salary, it is exempt. Nothing will be taxable. When you are depositing, and it is employer's contribution, then up to 12% of salary, nothing will be taxable. And salary here means, again, basic plus DA if plus commission specified. Okay. So contribution in excess of 12% of salary is taxable. Unrecognized provident fund, nothing will be taxable at the time of depositing or contributing. If employer is contributing, nothing will be taxable as it is unrecognized. Statutory, fully exempted. In the public provident fund, employer do not deposit because it is assessee's own contribution. It is not necessary that you are an employee. Even a businessman can also open a public provident fund with the bank. So generally there is no employer. So employer do not make any contribution in that. So if it is a recognized provident fund, up to 12% of the salary is exempted. Unrecognized, 100% amount is exempted at the time of contribution. I am talking about at the time of contribution, means at the time of depositing the amount. Statutory provident fund, fully exempt without any limit. और यहां पे एम्प्लॉयर कॉन्ट्रीब्यूट ही नहीं करता. Okay. Employees contribution. If employee is contributing something else to these funds, will this contribution is a benefit for the employee or it should be taxable? Employee himself contributing to these funds. The amount of contribution the employee is contributing to these funds is after giving the tax. This is the application of income. For example, if you are earning a salary, basic salary of 20,000 per month, so you will give the tax on that salary, correct? That's for sure. And you are making a contribution from that salary itself. So shall we charge tax again on the same salary? You are just making contribution after paying the taxes. So employer's contribution is not taxable in any of the cases. But in recognized provident fund, in statutory provident fund, or in public provident fund, deduction under 80C is available. If you know, we have to calculate the gross income under the Income Tax Act, then we will deduct deduction under section 80 to 80U, 80C to 80U. Then we will able to calculate the net taxable income on which we will apply the tax rates. So employee's contribution deduction is available, deduction is available, but in unrecognized, it is not recognized, it is not approved, no deduction is available. सर फिर यहां पे एग्जेम्प्ट क्यों किया? अरे भैया यहां पे एग्जेम्प्ट इसलिए किया क्योंकि सब इट इज अनरिकॉग्नाइज्ड प्रोविडेंट फंड. सो इफ employer is saying that he is contributing to this fund, but there may be chance that employer सारा पैसा खा जाए और एम्प्लॉय को कुछ मिले ही नहीं, और अगर एम्प्लॉय को कुछ मिला ही नहीं तो बेनिफिट ही नहीं हुआ तो किस बात का टैक्स देगा बेचारा, उसका तो हरेसमेंट हो जाएगा ना। सो एट द टाइम ऑफ कॉन्ट्रीब्यूशन unrecognized provident fund, nothing will be taxable. Employees contribution, no deduction is available in unrecognized provident fund, while in every cases except in all other cases except unrecognized provident fund, deduction under ATC is available. Interest on employer's contribution, if it is a recognized provident fund, up to 9.5% rate per annum is exempted. Above that is taxable. Employer's contribution up to 9.5% rate, I am using the word rate, per annum is exempt. Above that, taxable. It means if the interest at credit is 10,000, is 9,500. No, wait. Is 10,000. But interest rate is 10%. How much amount is exempt? Calculate right now. If the balance at the credit, if the interest at the time of interest on the contribution is 10,000 and the interest rate is 10%, what is that should be exempted? So most of you are doing what? 10,000 into 9.5% is exempt, which is wrong. What words I use? 9.5% rate per annum. It means 10,000 interest is according to 10% rate. I have to calculate interest as per 9.5% rate, which will be 9,500. So this amount is exempt. Remaining 500 will be taxable. So point to be noted, interest at the rate of 9.5% per annum is exempt. Above that is taxable. Is there any problem in this? Okay. So this is clear. Now, if it is unrecognized fund, not taxable at the time of credit of interest. जब interest credit हो रहा है, जब taxable नहीं है. This is, I am also talking about this when the interest is credited. It is fully exempt if it is SPF, और यहां पे कोई बात आती नहीं है because it is employer's contribution. Okay. Now interest on employee contribution. This is income. Because you are earning some interest. So again, 9.5% rate is exempt if it is recognized fund. Nothing is taxable at the time of credit of interest if it is non-recognized fund or unrecognized fund. Exempt up to certain limit. We will check. If it is SPF and fully exempted if it is PPF. Check this table. Read this table. This is when we are talking about at time of contribution or credit. ठीक है, जब आप कंट्रीब्यूशन कर रहे हैं इंटरेस्ट क्रिएट हो रहा है, जबकि बात कर रहे हैं इस टेबल में, इन दिस टेबल. Yes, Pranav, it is 9.5% rate per annum. Up to 9.5% rate per annum is exempt. Both in the case of employer's contribution and employee's contribution in case of recognized provident fund interest की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. Okay. Now, at the time of withdrawal, after retirement, you will withdraw this amount. So if it is public provident fund, it is fully exempt. If it is statutory provident fund, it is fully exempt. If it is recognized provident fund, it is fully exempt subject to certain conditions. We will check those conditions. If it is recognized provident fund, it is fully exempt with certain conditions. PF and SPF and PPF fully exempt, but unrecognized fund, as we did not charge any tax at the time of credit or depositing the amount in case of unrecognized provident fund, because we don't know that whether the real benefit will be given to the employee or not. But if he is able to withdraw the amount, it means he is getting the benefit. And it is unrecognized provident fund. That is not approved provident fund. So employee's contribution is not taxable, as it is already taxable as a salary, as it is already taxed as a salary. I told you. Okay. So employee's contribution is still not taxable. But interest on employee's contribution. Interest on employee's contribution. Is there any relationship of employer and employee? Is there any relationship of employer and employee? Interest on himself, his own contribution. Interest on his own contribution. He is contributing and he is earning interest on that contribution only. There is no relationship of employer-employer. That's why it is not taxable under the head salary. It will be taxable under the head other sources. Interest on employee's own contribution. Okay. Employer's contribution and its interest is taxable under the head salary, fully taxable at the time of withdrawal. So at the time of deposit in unrecognized provident fund, nothing will be taxable. But at the time of withdrawal, unrecognized fund is fully taxable, but employee's contribution is already taxed as a salary. And interest on employee's contribution, there is no relationship of, there is no employer-employee relationship. That's why it is taxable under that other sources. While employer's contribution and interest on that contribution is fully taxable at the time of withdrawal in unrecognized provident fund under the head salary. While in any other cases, in all of the other cases, at the time of withdrawal, the whole amount is exempted. But in recognized provident fund, there are some conditions. And condition is very simple. If the employee completed a 5 year of the service with the employer, it is fully exempt. That is the only condition, that you should complete the 5 year of service. If you have completed the 5 year of service with the employer, then the whole amount will be exempt in recognized provident fund wala case. If you have not completed the 5 year of service, then we have to check whether the services has been terminated due to his ill health, discontinuation of employer's business, or any other case beyond the control of employee. If the cases are such that is beyond the control of employee, अरे भैया जिस बंदे क्या काम कर रहा था वो कंपनी ही बंद हो गई, तो हाउ ही कैन कंप्लीट द 5 year सर्विस? या फिर वो बहुत ज्यादा बीमार पड़ गया, उसको जॉब ही छोड़नी पड़ गई. It is not possible. If it is not under the control of the employee, then exempt. If it is under the control of the employee, तो क्या वो ट्रांसफर हुआ है कहीं और, किसी और कंपनी में गया है? इफ यू मूव टू सम अदर कंपनी, are you all with me? Are you understanding what I'm saying? In the case of recognized provident fund, the only condition is you have to complete 5 year of service with the employer. Then it is fully exempted. Amount of withdrawal की बात कर रहा हूं मैं. But you are not able to complete the 5 year of service due to ill health, due to the business discontinued, or any other reason which is beyond the control of employee, then again fully exempt. But if it is not the case, then we have to check whether he moved to some other company. And if he moved to some other company, the balance with the old employer, if it is transferred to the new employer as a recognized fund with the new employer, then exempt. Is the entire balance standing to the credit of the employee transferred to his individual account in any RPF maintained with his new employer? It means if there is a case of transfer, if there is a case that employee moved to some other company or moved to some other employer, the old employer balance in recognized fund, if it is transferred to the recognized fund of the new employer and the whole amount is transferred to the new recognized fund, then it is fully exempt. If it is not transferred to the RPF, then it is fully taxable. Shruti, I told you URPF means unrecognized provident fund that is not recognized or approved by Commissioner of Income Tax. Right? So if it is not transferred to the RPF with the new employer, it is fully taxable. Or is the entire balance standing to the credit of the employee transferred to his NPS account, National Pension Scheme, under section 80CCD, that is notified by the government, then it is exempt. Otherwise taxable. This is the only condition with, or in simple word, the condition is that you have to complete the 5 years with the employer. The 5 years with the employer. If you are not able to complete the 5 years, if the reason is ill health, discontinuation of business, or any other reason, which is beyond the control of the employee, then it is exempt. But in any other cases, the old amount should be transferred to the new RPF maintained with the new employer. It is exempt, otherwise taxable. Or the old amount should be transferred to the NPS account, National Pension Scheme. Then it is exempt, otherwise taxable. So अगर आप, so in case if the employee is moved to the new employer or the new company, his old RPF account has been transferred to the URPF account, unrecognized account. Then it will be taxable, and recomputation we have to make the calculation from the very beginning, as it was a URPF. That we will assume that this amount is URPF from the very beginning, and we make the calculation accordingly. What it's saying, where the accumulated balance in the recognized provident fund becomes taxable, the tax payable in each of the years would be computed as if the fund had been an URPF fund, and difference in tax would be payable to the by the employee. क्या हुआ है? Employee transferred to the new employer. Okay, and the whole amount is converted into RPF amount is converted into the URPF amount. Then we will make the recomputation, assuming as it is or it was a URPF from the very beginning. That's it. If an employee moves to the new employer or the new company, and the old RPF account is converted into the URPF account, then we will make the recomputation for all the previous years, assuming that it was a URPF account from the very beginning. Okay, that's it. Second thing, accounts is padani, then I will close the class. Former employer period shall also be taken into account for the purpose of 5 years. For example, you have computed 3 years with ABC Company Limited, and in the new company you have computed 2 years. It means you have completed the condition of 5 years. Okay. Okay. Riddhi, I already told you, I have not taught you profit in lieu of salary yet. I will cover that topic, so please wait. Okay. So if you are moving to a new company, your old RPF account, and if you worked with the old company for 3 years, and in the new company that amount is transferred 5. This is all about taxability of the provident fund. Okay. Any problem regarding today's class? Please ask me before I close the class. Yeah, very.
Sir, in URPF, the interest on employee contribution is taxable on income from other sources. So my doubt is that we are taxing pension and gratuity after he retires from the firm. That means the past employer and employee relationship is still there. Why can't we just tax it as the same as salary?
This in pension gratuity, you are receiving the amount from employer itself. Interest on employee contribution.
But he is to the firm, right? He is just contributing to the firm, and the firm is getting some interest from that.
No, he is not contributing to a firm. He is contributing to a particular fund.
Yeah, that fund is maintained by the firm, right?
No. That fund is not maintained by the firm itself. It is maintained with some bank or with some other something other else. Okay. Unrecognized fund is maintained by the employer generally, but there is a difference between pension and annuity. That was only an extension of your employee-employer relationship. And if you are contributing to something else, you are contributing to a fund. It means that's only an application of your income. First thing. So how you can earn something else own contribution that is made by you yourself itself? So why it is taxable under the head salary? Why? Is there any employer relationship? You are contributing. You are not employer is not contributing. You are contributing, and I'm talking about the interest on your contribution.
Okay, sure.
You
So
are
it is
contributing.
because
If you are contributing, means you are applying your income only. Correct?
Okay, sure.
So there is no question of employer-employee relationship.
Okay. I understood, sir. Thank you.
Yeah, Hardik.
Sir, I have a doubt relating to LTC.
Yeah.
Sir, in a block of a year, there it is written that the LTC will be carried forward to immediately succeeding block of 4 years.
Yes.
So, sir, is there any limit that within which that carried forward LTC should be used?
No,
Or
there is no. The limit is block itself. The block is of
in
4
any
years.
4 years we can use it.
Yes.
And sir, second one is that in
Generally, you are asking na. So generally, you should use in the first 2 years of the block.
yes, sir, that's what I am asking because it is written succeeding block.
Yes. Succeeding block, and in the first 2 years, you should use it.
First 2 years, no?
Yeah.
Okay, sir. And sir, in the journey performed by air, there it is written that economy fare of a national carrier.
National
sir-
carrier, yeah.
So, sir, national carrier is Air India. So, sir,
Correct.
Air India is a national carrier. Other than that, we have to. We
Don't
don't.
worry about this. The examiner will not ask you this. This is only for the understanding purpose. They will simply mention you the national carrier shoot is this.
Okay.
They will not give you question like this is the economic class ticket of Air India, this is the ticket of Air Asia, this is ticket of Indigo. ऐसा नहीं देगा वो, टेंशन मत लो इसका.
ठीक है सर. ठीक है सर. Thank you, sir.
Anybody else? हाँ, तंबेश्वरी. Yeah, please.
यस सर, जो आपने अभी स्लाइड खोली है ना सर, तो उसके अंदर सर मुझे वो 40 ईयर वाला समझ में नहीं आया.
40 ईयर वाला समझ नहीं आया बेटा. वो ये कह रहा है कि वीआरएस का एग्जेम्पशन तभी मिलेगा जब किसी कंपनी में आपने या तो 10 साल की सर्विस कंप्लीट कर ली हो.
यस सर.
या तो आपने 10 साल की सर्विस कंप्लीट कर ली हो, या फिर आपकी एज 40 ईयर से ज्यादा हो गई हो. यू हैव अटेंड द एज ऑफ 40 ईयर या 40 ईयर से ज्यादा, या तो 40 ईयर हो गई या 40 ईयर से ज्यादा हो गई हो.
सर दोनों में से एक होना चाहिए.
दोनों में से एक होना चाहिए. दोनों में से अगर कोई भी एक हुआ ना तो यू आर एलिजिबल फॉर एग्जेम्पशन. बट ये कंडीशन भी पब्लिक सेक्टर कंपनी केस में नहीं लगती है.
प्राइवेट सेक्टर पर लगती है.
प्राइवेट सेक्टर को तो एग्जेम्पशन ही नहीं मिल रही बेटा. मिल रही है लेकिन कंपनीज को मिल रही है. तो ये एग्जेम्पशन पहली बात तो इन 11 पॉइंट्स में से मिलेगी. सबसे पहले इन्हीं एम्प्लॉयर के एम्प्लॉय को मिलेगी. सबसे पहले ये समझो, या तो पब्लिक सेक्टर कंपनी हो या कोई अदर कंपनी हो, प्राइवेट सेक्टर से आप कह रहे हो, या लोकल अथॉरिटी, या इन्हीं एम्प्लॉयर के एम्प्लॉय को ये मिलेगी. पहली चीज. अब इन सब एम्प्लॉयर के पास भी एक ये कंडीशन है कि या तो उस बंदे ने, जिसके हम कैलकुलेशन कर रहे हैं एग्जाम्पशन की, या तो 10 इयर्स का सर्विस दे दिया हो इन कंपनी को या इन एम्प्लॉयर्स को, या फिर उसकी एज 40 इयर्स की हो गई हो. बट वो कंडीशन भी पब्लिक सेक्टर कंपनी पे नहीं लगती है. देयर इज वन मोर कंडीशन, लेकिन वो मैंने पढ़ाई नहीं बिकॉज इतना इंपॉर्टेंट नहीं है.
यस सर.
ठीक है.
यस सर.
या एनीबडी एल्स? प्रोफेशनल टैक्स पेमेंट में हर्षप्रीत कौर, उसमें लिमिट कुछ भी नहीं है, वो डिडक्शन है. आपने जितना भी पेमेंट रियल में एक्चुअल में गवर्नमेंट को प्रोफेशनल टैक्स का किया है एक प्रीवियस ईयर में, उतना पूरा आपको डिडक्शन मिल जाएगा. अगर आप ओल्ड रेजिम में हैं तो लिमिट नहीं है. फॉर डिडक्शन लिमिट नहीं है. हाँ, लिमिट इस चीज की है कि जनरली एक साल में कोई भी स्टेट गवर्नमेंट 2500 रुपए 2500 से ज्यादा प्रोफेशनल टैक्स चार्ज नहीं कर सकती. ओके, क्लियर है हर्षप्रीत? Anybody else? Are you guys enjoying the classes? Taxation? दिलीप, मुझे आपका क्वेश्चन समझ में नहीं आया. आई एम नॉट गेटिंग योर क्वेश्चन. सर, इज द प्रोविजन of tax applicable to employees of companies? What about other business? I'm not getting your question. What do you want to write? Dilip, what do you want to ask? क्या पूछना चाह रहे हो बेटा? अच्छा, हार्दिक बोल रहा है कि इनकम टैक्स और जीएसटी उसके दूसरे सब्जेक्ट का स्ट्रेस कम कर देता है. अच्छा, दिलीप, आप पूछना चाहते हो तो वापस पूछिए. आई एम नॉट अंडरस्टैंडिंग व्हाट यू वांट टू राइट. अच्छा, एनीबडी एल्स? एनी डाउट? आई होप आप सबको यहां तक का सब कुछ क्लियर है. दिलीप, ऐसा नहीं है. नॉट ऑल द प्रोविजंस आर रिलेटेड टू कंपनी. The salary head for all the employers and all the employees. Doesn't matter you are employed in a company or in a normal proprietorship. Doesn't matter. How? वो बात अलग है. In some cases the list has been given. So then we have to, for the exemption purpose, the list has been given. So we have to check that list. But yes, the salary head is applicable to all the types of employers and all the types of employee. Is it clear now, Dilip? Okay. Shall we close? Please do one thing. Revise everything till now. And by sure, I will upload the notes after 1 hour. Actually, I am suffering from high fever today also. So I will upload the notes after 1 hour. Okay. So please revise all the notes till now. Okay. Okay. Fine. Okay, technical tech team, we can close. Okay. Have a good day, everybody. Tech team, we can close. Yeah.